Starting in chapter 11 in the book of John, we're going to talk about a man named Lazarus. In verse 1, now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, Lord, the one you love is sick. Now process this for a moment. Think about someone that you deeply love. Your children, your grandchildren, relatives, friends, co-workers, parents, siblings. They're sick. What do? We do different things when someone is sick. Now, these sisters understood that Jesus was someone who had authority and the power to heal. In our world, we look to others to focus on what we come to believe can heal them. Christ is the healer, and we need to understand the truth. Now, when Jesus heard this sickness will not end in death. In verse 4, that Jesus made it clear that this sickness will not end in death. How many doctors, how many people have given up when they thought someone was going to die? There have been people who have lived for years, for decades, after being told they had weeks or months to live. But Jesus said here, this sickness, in this particular situation, will not end in death. John goes on to write, no, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. This is the God that we can serve through his Son, Jesus, to give him glory, to look to him. See, that's what these sisters did. They didn't go to some physician. They didn't go to someone else. They didn't give up. They went to the source. That's where we need to go. The source, the real healer. The time is now to seek the Lord, to be anchored in faith and obedience, so God's glory can radiate in us completely. And continuation in chapter 11. In verse 43, Jesus called in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." In verse 44, the dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen, and a cloth around his face. And Jesus said to them, "Take off the grave clothes and let him be free." How many times have people flatlined in the hospital when the doctors looked and thought that person was dead, and they came back to life? They pulled through. God works in ways that we can't understand. We don't have the power to do what God can do. We don't have the authority to do what God can do. We need to go to him. And it's time in this present moment